Hi, my name is Joseph Parker, WBO champion of the world, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
A few weeks ago, Alexander Povetkin, he beat Christian Hammer and became the mandatory for the WBA and the WBO World Heavyweight titles. Currently, WBO held by Joseph Parker and WBA held by Anthony Joshua. So it's only naturally fitting that Eddie Hearn would want the mandatory for the winner, because essentially whoever wins is going to hold both those titles. So it's only natural that Alexander Povetkin would be on the undercard. Well, I say only natural. I mean, Alexander Povetkin is a headliner in his own country and arguably has the best resume out of everybody in the heavyweight division currently. If you look at all the fighters that he's fought and beat, and you could even throw in there the fact that he has been in there with Vladimir Klitschko and of course lost. And Eddie Hearn would love to have Alexander Povetkin on the Joshua vs Parker undercard, and this is what Eddie Hearn had to say. Povetkin might be on the card. We've offered it to Derek Chisora and David Price. If Povetkin boxes on the card, it will be against a Brit. So that's Eddie Hearn's statement. I mean, this makes the undercard even more exciting. I mean, Alexander Povetkin is an elite fighter. We know he's had his PED issues in the past. Hopefully that's all gone now. In his last fight against Christian Hammer, he didn't look too hot, to be honest. He looked like either age was getting to him, or he didn't have a very good camp, or maybe lack of PEDs. Who knows what the reason is? But either way, he is the mandatory for the winner of these, which, all going well, will be Anthony Joshua. This will be the one time that I would actually want Joseph Parker to lose, and that would be against Anthony Joshua. But of course, if he fought Dillian Whyte as well, or Tyson Fury, of course, I want them to beat him as well, of course. But I really like Joseph Parker. Now, this is an excellent fight, and to put on an undercard with Alexander Povetkin, who, like I said, is usually a headliner himself, is phenomenal. Absolutely fantastic. Now, of course, the names Derek Chisora and David Price. I'm pretty sure Eddie Hearn doesn't have the intention of either of those beating him. I mean, they're pretty much cannon fodder for the likes of Povetkin. But like I said, he didn't exactly look too good against Christian Hammer in his last fight. So who knows? David Price, okay, he's had his issues inside the ring, obviously with the fact that he gets hit and he tends to lose heart, and that's coming from his former trainer David Coldwell, and he has been knocked out, that kind of thing. And of course, he's been in there with PED users as well, such as Tony Thompson and I forgot his name now, Erkan. So maybe David Price might be a little bit reluctant to get in the ring with Povetkin. Derek Chisora, on the other hand, he'll fight anybody. He'll turn up and he'll always give it a go. Again, he lost his last fight against Ajit Kabayel for the European title. Very underwhelming. He didn't have his trainer in the corner with him. And while Derek Chisora, he did okay in that fight, Kabayel was much better than me, you, and a lot of people thought that he was actually going to be, and fully expected Derek Chisora to beat him and then move on to a fight with Dillian Whyte. But for that fight to ever happen, Derek Chisora needs to get a win. At least 2 wins. Well, providing, of course, Dillian Whyte wins his next fight against Lucas Brown on March 24th, of course. But either way, for me, if I could handpick Derek Chisora or David Price to fight Alexander Povetkin, I think I would probably go for Derek Chisora, as Derek Chisora would go a few rounds with him. And if he gets hit, he keeps on coming. That's kind of the way for Derek Chisora, right? And it's a big opportunity for him as well. It gets him ranked. By beating Alexander Povetkin, he could effectively become mandatory, which would be shocking, right? Or David Price. Could you imagine him fighting Alexander Povetkin and he treats Povetkin the way that Vladimir Klitschko treated him? Because he's big enough, he's strong enough. So he just leans all over him, gets a points decision, or potentially hits him hard enough to knock him down and keep him down, because David Price got one hell of a punch. And then the very next fight, he could be fighting potentially Anthony Joshua, David Price versus Anthony Joshua, as David Price will be the mandatory. This could be a golden opportunity for him. So in some ways, he'd be a bit of a fool to turn it down. But like I said, I think Derek Chisora is more likely to be the bullhorn in that ring and will keep on coming forward. And you could pretty much expect a kind of fight the way that Povetkin had with Carlos Takam, where it was pretty much a slugfest. Derek Chisora backs off for nobody and keeps on coming forward, so that's a more exciting fight. But of course, one that Alexander Povetkin will be the overwhelming favourite to win. But against the Brit, who else could there really be? Derek Chisora, David Price. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and hopefully we get to see that. Whoever Alexander Povetkin fights, if of course Alexander Povetkin accepts the challenge, maybe he just wants to sit around and wait for the winner. Maybe he doesn't want to fight again. But it's good exposure for him to come to the UK. I don't know if Povetkin has ever fought in the UK before. I haven't checked his record to see whether or not he has. I don't believe he has. So it would be a good experience for him to come to the UK. Obviously with visa permitting. Obviously he's from Russia, so he will need a visa. But I'm presuming that he has no criminal convictions of any kind. A PED test does not give you a criminal conviction, so he shouldn't have any problems. So it would be good exposure for him, and of course to see the kind of arena that he would end up fighting potentially Anthony Joshua in. And of course he gets to see Joshua and Parker up close and see what the winner is all about. So that would be excellent. If Eddie Hearn could pull that one off, fantastic. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up and subscribe. Catch you next video.